Hey everyone, welcome back to my Fluid Art channel. Today I am finally wrapping up my solar system series with a final galaxy pour. So the first galaxy pour that I did was inspired by our very own Milky Way galaxy, where I walked through some fun facts, and then throughout the solar system series we went from the Milky Way to the sun, then walked through each one of the planets discussing, some of their fun facts, things maybe you didn't know. But today, since I'm doing my last galaxy pour, I'm just going to make it about kind of our local galaxies in general. So I'm excited to try the funnel method again. That was the first time I've ever done it. This is my second time. And I've picked out pretty much the same colors, but I want to add a little pizzazz. So I do have these premix pouring acrylics that I'm going to add just for some bright colors to add. Okay, so again, all of these have been on 12 by 12 inch canvases by Artist Loft. I have my cake spinner. I do have a nice spinner on order. It's coming from Erica Hughes, but it's coming from the UK, so it's going to take a minute. But anyways, what I do for this cake spinner to kind of hold it on there is I just put, so I tape my back here, but I just put little safety pins. So I just put little push pins in to where they go right around the radius of the cake spinner. So this is kind of my hack until I get my nice new one. So it does work pretty good, but there's some technical difficulties that you'll see while I'm spinning that kind of make me want a nice actual one. And this technique with the push pins is only good for these small canvases. I have tried it on a larger one, but it's a little shady. So I'm excited to get my new spinner. Okay, walking you through the colors. So this is a color that I made. So this is going to be our base space color. It's a little bit of a combo. So it's a lot of Prussian hue from Liquitex Basics. I did add this pearlized carbon black from Master's Touch. This is a really pretty color, super dark. And just to add a little bit of purpley goodness, I did add a little bit of this pearlized violet. So I have that mixed in here a little bit. I also have it as an accent color for my galaxy pour. So it just made this beautiful, again, it's very dark blue, but it has a little bit of purple color to it. So I'm excited to see what it looks like dry. It's going to be, I think, very similar to the one we've done before. Okay, and then for our accent colors, I already talked about the pearlized violet. We do have this pearlized crystal blue, which I've used many times. So this is also Master's Touch. And then for our Glisten Glam, we have Amsterdam's light gold, which is one of my favorites to use. And I just got it on my hand, fun. And then we also have this, it's a mix of white and silver that I just had left over. So gonna use that. And then we're gonna see how it goes, but I have these premix pouring acrylics that I wanna use up, and I thought it'd be fun to add just a little bit of pink and then a little bit of this irid florid green, which is really bright. So I think that's gonna be enough colors, okay? So one thing that I did learn from my last galaxy pour, I wanted to have it more dense in the center and then kind of go outwards and get less dense, kind of like a real galaxy does. But I didn't plan it that way. So what I'm going to try to do this time is between each layer with my funnel, that's the technique I'm using, I'm going to try to add a little bit more base at the beginning. So there's more space in between the stars, if you will, the colors. And then as we get towards the center, keep adding more color and less space. So hopefully it will look like a galaxy. All right, first fun fact, our Milky Way is in a group of galaxies which we call the local group. So the local group has 3 really large galaxies and a whole bunch of small ones. So the largest galaxy in the local group is Andromeda. I mean, we're basically right behind that with our Milky Way galaxy. And then the third one, which is interesting, it's about half the size of those two, is a galaxy called Triangulum. So I've not heard of that one. I've definitely heard of the other ones, which we'll talk about here in a minute, but those are the biggest galaxies in the local group. Milky Way and Andromeda are barred spirals, meaning they're spirals, but they have like a nice thick bar in the center. And then Triangulum is just a regular spiral galaxy, no bar. So let's get started. All right. So I'm just gonna pour a little bit of my base here, like I did the last time. All right. And then I think what I'm gonna do, I'll start with, let me start with a tiny little bit of light blue. Okay. And then again, like I said, we're gonna put a lot of base between those. All right, and then we'll just add a little bit of gold here. Again, just a tiny bit because we want some space. Okay. Lots of base there. And then come in with some purple. Okay. All right. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of blop and spin, okay? So blop, spin, 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 blop, spin. Okay, now we got to add more color. So this time I'm going to come in with a little bit of my white, okay, or silver, if you will. Okay. And some of the base again. All right, let's add some pink. Let's have some fun, huh? Okay, that's pretty much out, so that's good. Add some base again. Then come in with this beautiful irid flora green. Okay. Then some base. Right, and then how about some purple? Some base. Oops, some blues. All right, let's see what that gives us. Okay. Well, this is so pretty already. All right, now let's get a little bit more bold with some colors. So we're gonna start condensing the colors with a little bit less space between them. Okay. All right, that looks so pretty. All right, let me just kind of move this to the center. My table's a little bit out of level, so that is why we're experiencing that. All right, let me just add a little bit more white in the center here to finish it all off. A little bit more gold, a little bit more white. All right, and then I am going to do something very similar, just put a little bit of white in the center here. and then kind of drag it to be a little bit more of a bar. All right, that's so pretty. All right, let's put a little bit of flow extender around the outside here so we can get good coverage. I think we won't have much problem, but just in case. I also have some of this extra blue that I'm gonna just put on around here just to help things stretch. So this is just pearlized blue, but already pre-mixed. Okay, next fun fact while I do this. So our closest somewhat larger galaxies are the small and large Magellanic Cloud. So they're about 160,000 to 210,000 light years away. That's really far, by the way. But fun fact, I actually forgot the name of this galaxy, to be honest. I was an astrophysics major, but shame on me, I forgot the name of this. Our very closest galaxy is a galaxy called Canis Major. And it's a dwarf galaxy, so it's very small, and that's only 25,000 light years away from Earth. So pretty cool. You know, everything in space is so far away, but that's not that far. So maybe we'll see it someday. Okay, I'm just gonna move the paint to more of the center here so it can stretch out evenly. All right, I'm about to make a mess. Let me roll up my sleeves. And I'm gonna drip it all over my hands because I don't have my gloves. So we're gonna need these paper towels for sure. Let's get spinning, huh? Ooh, these things are starting to form really pretty. Oh, it's so pretty already. And my hand is getting completely covered. Awesome. Right, let me see if I can move this down a bit. I'm standing back so I don't get it too much on my clothes. All right, I'm trying to get it a little bit more this way. Let's see if we can bring some paint this way. Okay, that is so pretty. Wow, it kind of almost has like a spiral effect. That's so cool. Okay, I think I was gonna say I'm gonna touch up my sides. They're pretty good, just because we did thankfully have enough paint. But I'll touch up my sides and then bring the camera down so you get a close look of this wet result. Oh, one thing I did forget to do is add some stars. So let's do that now. I'm just gonna pour out my white silvery color here. And I'm just gonna pour it out, oops, on my mat here because we don't need a lot, but I'm gonna dip it in and then kind of flick it. Ooh, boy, almost got me. Okay, I think that's so pretty. All right, now for real, I'm gonna grab the camera and bring you down. All right, here we are, close up of the wet result. This one turned out a little bit different, but I think it's so cool. Look at these like spiral patterns that it made. And I don't even know how like these lines happened. I have no idea. Um, but I love like the bright center. It looks very nebulous, like there's stars forming. It's a very active galaxy. It's not a dormant one, if you will. And I think all of these colors are going to dry beautifully. I'm really excited, but I think the spiral pattern itself is really cool. All right, so again, we have gold and we have silver. Let's see how this baby dries. Okay, here we are with dried results. This is fun. So it actually did come out a little bit lighter. It dried lighter than I thought, which I don't hate. And again, these metallic colors are just so pretty in the sunlight. They really sparkle. The camera, I promise, does not do them justice. But this one's fun. I did put the first galaxy pour above it. And I love them because they're very different. So I'll tell you what vibes they give me, okay? So this one up here, it looks a little bit more established and maybe like we're looking at it a little bit further away. So I'm thinking this is an older galaxy. And then this one, because it's lighter and brighter and a little bit more gas and dust, it kind of looks very nebulous, like a star nursery, and it's kind of glowing with that gold and silver. So I'm thinking this is a newly formed galaxy that's just starting to create all of its solar systems and stars. And yeah, that's what vibes they give to me. But this one literally glows in the sunlight. It's so pretty. This one does too, but like I said, it's a little bit more mature vibe. I think so. But yeah, fun fact, most galaxies have a supermassive black hole in the center. So that's exciting. I probably should have added that in one of those, but yeah, you wouldn't be able to see it anyways. Hence why it's black hole. All right, let me know, I guess between the two, what one is your favorite? Do you like the more mature, defined lines, more empty space and swirls? Or do you like the young, nebulous, glowy one? I love them both, but they are different. So let me know which one your favorite is. Thank you all for tuning in with me on this super fun adventure. I had the best time walking through our solar system and doing an entire series inspired by it, looking up the fun facts, kind of reminiscing from my college days on what I had learned. So it's been a really awesome journey, and I'll leave you with this fun fact. So scientists currently estimate in our visible universe that we have over 2 trillion galaxies, each galaxy containing billions of stars, and most of those stars containing planets. So That's such a humbling thought. And I think as a human race, we can all come together and just realize how special we are, but how together we are as well. Because we're all we have on this planet. And, you know, I hope in my lifetime we'll find some exciting discovery elsewhere that shows that there could be a potential of life. I just think it's a big space out there. So it'd be very peculiar if we're the only ones here. Every time I look up at space, I just am so humbled and thankful at the same time. You know, something so much bigger and grander than yourself. It kind of puts things into perspective, but also makes you thankful for what you have. All right, well, if you guys could give me a like on this video, I'd really appreciate it, and subscribe to my channel. I have a bunch of upcoming fun videos that I have planned. I have some other series that I want to start, so I would love to share that with you. All right, we'll see you next time, everyone. Take care. Have a great week.